Hello, hello, it's Shalyn. I hope your day is off to a great start. I'm super excited that you have joined me here. And I wanted to take some time to start going through the collections that I have formulated through my online store, which is called Bright Start Studios. So, Bright Start Studios is also the product name of my whole entire line. And I'm super excited to just kind of bring you on in and tell you about the mindset behind all of the products that I have actually created. The beauty behind all of this is that everything that I've made has actually come from a place of need in my life. And that's literally how I actually live my life. I learn lessons, I go through different things, and then I share them. And that's literally just how I do things. So um, I'm taking the time to create the different series of the collections, and today we're going to go through the Reset collection. Now, you will see me look over to the side because I have notes. I have notes. I have to have notes because there are things that I want to make sure that I communicate and things that I don't forget to say because I get so excited. I'll just be like, "Oh my God, did I say this? Did I say that? I forgot to say this." So yeah. So I have my notes right here, and so I'll be definitely making eye contact with you, but I got to use my notes. Let's just keep it real. So, one of the things that I really want to stop and just take that deep breath is to explain to you that I started with the Reset collection because in my own life, there was a need to completely reset. For me, resetting just isn't like a one time event. It's not like, okay, I reset once and so I'm completely all together. No, 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 no. We reset, and then we reset. But before we rebuild, before we can even rise, we have to reset. And the resetting is where my whole thought process really went in beginning the whole literally beginning the whole company. And there's something about the Reset collection. Yes, it was all of it is all handcrafted by me. I'm not a direct sales, person for any other company. I'm not repping for anybody else. I'm repping for myself. So I infuse the oils, I take all the notes. Everything is completely sanitized, like all of the plant inside the dried plant material inside all of the different types of oils, like the names, the labeling, the packaging, all of it. All of it is it's a one person show. It's a one person show. So I even had one of my family members. They were like, when you look at this, it looks like as if you have a whole team. It is just me because it's flowing from the passion that I actually have. So I think the thing that we have to remember for the Reset collection, I guess I have to say, as people, we have to remember that in times of feeling overwhelmed, in times of transition, in those times of feeling exhausted, we don't need more pressure. Mm-mm. We need the time and we need the space to actually reset. We need permission to pause. And every aspect of the Reset collection was weaving in those times to reset and to pause. So I wanted to make sure that as the products were being formulated, that it connected with the times in which resetting needed to be done. So, if you have ever followed me on social media, I have been very transparent to talk about like the sleeping habits that I have. And at times you can't even call them a habit because the only thing that was habitual was like literally waking up at like 2:17 in the morning. And I don't know what in the world, why my brain is wants to fire up at 2:17 in the morning, but that is literally the time that I don't know, my eyes just pop open. I'm just like, okay, is it time to start the day? But technically, I needed to understand what was really going on and what were some tools in which that I could really use in order to help me rest and help me to reset. So, if you've ever been exhausted and you felt as if your body was exhausted and you just could not sleep, then you would identify with where I'm kind of going with this. Like I would feel my eyes would be burning, like my thoughts would be toppling on top of each other. My nervous system, really what was happening is my nervous system was standing on guard. It was on guard, and that was me. So there would be lots of nights when I would be able to fall asleep, but I couldn't stay asleep. And then that 2:17 would kick in, AM would kick in, and I would maybe be woke for about an hour or so. Then I'd be able to fall back to sleep, and then I'd wake up and get going. Well, you may say, okay, Shalene, well, all together, aren't you getting like 5 or 6 hours? And then your stage of life, isn't that enough? Well, the thing about it is that broken sleep is really not the best. It's not the best sleep, because what really needs to happen is that your brain needs the space and time to actually reset. And so I started realizing that at 2:17 in the morning, um, my body was giving me signs that I needed to listen to. I needed to I needed to stop trying to have the conversation that I didn't have throughout the day. I needed to stop trying to keep in my head the to-do list of what needed to be done the next day. And as I began to realize the feedback that my body was giving me, what my brain was actually saying, it was time for me to actually slow down. So it wasn't like I was technically struggling with sleeping. I wasn't struggling with safety. Those weren't the things. But what it was is that my nervous system had been turned on for so long that it didn't know how to turn off. And it wasn't like it would just automatically turn off when the lights went off, because clearly that was what was not happening. My body needed to find a different way. So, as it turns out, I started to ask myself this main question, and I'm going to read it right from my notes. It says, how do I teach my body that it is allowed to rest? Woo! How could I begin to teach my body it's okay, it's safe, relax, shut down, and just pause? Because whatever can, be handled will be handled in its own proper timing. So, resetting is really about returning to yourself. It's literally about returning to yourself. And that's what I weaved into for this whole collection. So all of the textures are soothing, the aromas are grounding, and I would say the ritual is simple. And so everything connects together. And since I've started using the different items in the Reset collection, I have been resting better. Now, I'm not sitting out here trying to say, oh, as soon as you start using the Quiet Twilight Essential Roller, you just going to be sleeping forever, because that is not the type of claim that I'm out here to make, and I can't even make those kind of claims, because we also have to remember that as you get into using the Reset collection, your body will respond a different way than maybe how my body responds. But what I have found is that I have been able to slow down and move into a ritual that really does matter the most. So I want to again tell you that each product in the collection was formulated, handcrafted by me. The small batches that I use are great because I can make sure that everything in the collection lines up, that everything is consistent, that it's congruent, and that from one bottle to the next, everything is just going to be fantastic, right? I have chosen my botanical infusions based upon the properties that the plants are at least known to provide, right? And then pairing that with the specific, and it's really called vegetable oils that will help the vegetable oil to take on the property of those plants. So, whew, take a deep breath there. So, the different items in the collection were really formulated based upon recalibrating, is really what it is. So for the mornings when I needed like the gentleness, and then in the in between times throughout the day when it feels like the body just needs to feel safe again. And then I think reset can help even you to be reminded that you are allowed to soften. I feel as if there's something in society that pushes you and makes you feel like you're always on go. I was talking to one of my good friends talking about how it's interesting when sometimes when people ask you what did you do today, they're expecting a long list. Oh, I did this and I did that and I did this and this, da 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 da. And there's like some kind of trophy that is like an unspoken trophy that is given in the times in which you can literally say that you did 10 things. But what if you only did one thing that day and you did it well? I don't know. You should test it out and try it out for yourself and see the reaction of whoever you're talking to and literally see if they go, "Oh, you only did one thing today?" Or if they're like, "Oh, you did 12 things today?" Just try that for yourself and then you'll see you'll kind of see what I mean. Because what I found is that quietness and stillness is something beautiful. Me as a person, I realized that I used to be like freaking out, and quietness was scary. I always felt like the silence needed to be filled. And that even crept into, obviously, my sleeping habits. It also crept into my frame of mind. It crept into how I was operating. It crept into how I define safety for myself. So I want to talk just for a quick moment about the emotional connection to resetting. Because resetting doesn't mean that you're quitting. It doesn't mean that you've given up. It doesn't mean that you're some kind of weak person. It doesn't mean any of that. Because what I found is that in resetting, there is wisdom. Oh, yes. There is wisdom in resetting. For you to be able to say that I've been operating in this kind of way, but I'm going to stop and I'm going to reset and I'm going to take things a different way. That, my friend, is wisdom. That is wisdom. And when we don't need, well, let's just put it this way. When we don't reset, now we're overriding the needs that we have. Because now we pushing through. We just gonna push through this. We don't even realize that we're feeling numb, or that we start having these different kind of habits. We start snacking, we start scrolling on the phone, we just pushing through. But the body does keep the score. The body begins to feel like you're pushing it. It begins to feel all of that pressure. And it can't withstand that. It can't operate in its top like capacity. I guess that's the best way to say it. So resetting it's a decision that you actually tell your nervous system. And then I want to say this. when you reset, you tell your nervous system, you don't have to protect me right now. Oh, that is so good. You don't have to protect me right now because I've reset. I've recalibrated. I'm 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 fine right now. Now, this doesn't happen through logic alone. It doesn't happen just through a sensation. It happens through a like a redirecting. It happens through scent, through touch, and it happens through ritual. So, really, what I'm telling you is that resetting happens when we use our senses. That's amazing. So, pairing the different sensory aspects that I've put inside the reset collection, it can help. It can help with resetting. Again, the reason why I feel like this collection can represent something in your life is because there's an aspect of telling your brain, okay, I need to stop, I need to reset. And then you have a sensory thing that goes along with it. And then everything really does start connecting very well because maybe you are using the quiet twilight essential roller at night. Well, your brain begins to say, okay, it's nighttime. I'm going to use my quiet twilight essential roller. I'm going to start to relax and I'm going to go to sleep. So your brain kicks in and starts to enjoy these newer rituals, these newer things that you're doing, and it prepares you for that reset. So if you can kind of, go along with that, like that visual, and actually what I'm saying to you, it will make sense with you. So yeah, so I'm super excited. I'm gonna take the time to come back and actually show the different products. For now, you can go on my website. It's at brightstartstudios.co, not .com, .co, and you will be taken over to my Shopify. It's actually Shopify store, and I'm so excited to be connected to Shopify. It's amazing. I'm so super excited about that. But yeah, and even with that was a reset for me as well. I had my mindset on certain things that I felt like, oh, I gotta be with this company. I have to do this, that, and the other, and things are just going so well to be with Shopify. So I'm encouraging you to connect with the workbook that I will actually have available. So the title of the workbook is Reset, a guided ritual for settling the nervous system. Now, again, I will tell you till I'm blue in the face that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a herbalist, I have no medical claims, but all I can give you is my lived experience. That's all I can give you. And I can just share with you what has been happening with me as I have been formulating and using the different items. And there's nothing that works better than sharing with someone how you feel. Oh, that's beautiful. And if I was to just pull back a little bit, I will tell you. So my sister-in-law used to talk to me about these Coach purses that she has. And I remember, you don't have a Coach purse? No, I don't have a Coach purse. She started telling me the beauty of Coach purses and how they wear, and all the different things and how they last and the qualities and the other. And before I knew it, I fell in love with Coach purses because she told me about the experience. And if she believed in that and she loved how Coach purses was working for her, well, then it's not a peer pressure thing. I want that too. I want a purse that's going to look nice when I have it on my shoulder, have enough pockets and space for me to put my stuff in, and last well. I want that. And so that's what I'm actually doing for you. I'm sharing with you the beauty of what has worked best for me. And I want you to have the best as well. So, this is my introduction to my reset collection and just all the beautiful things that are going on here with Bright Star Studio. So, I invite you to check out my website, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye for now.